sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
And welcome in. Mackey and Judd today is actually Judd and Declan Goff, our producer, my co-host today. Mackey taking a couple days off here. He'll be back on for Monday's show, and then we'll have some time off right before Christmas. We've got some Wolves to get to. We've got, obviously, Vikings Keys, which is such an important part of the Friday show. But before we go any further, Declan Goff, we have some... Now, it's breaking news, but it's also combined, and this is the best day because of this. It's combined with this.
Reckless speculation.
Reckless speculation. Reckless speculation.
Trade talk.
Juicy rumors. Oh, yeah.
Regarding the Minnesota Twins. Now, Declan, people might say, well, hold on.
Well, hold on
Judd, you can't do this.
This is classic.
You can't combine breaking news with reckless speculation. Because if it's reckless speculation, it can't be breaking news yet. You're just going to be speculating, okay? I'm making an exception here to the rule. And here's the exception. When Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic, when he does this...
Reckless speculation.
I think this. Because he's so plugged in.
Correct.
So, like, this is not and this is no insult, but this is not Twitter. This is not some dude who has thought of a good idea and we welcome
Which
those.
we entertain, yes.
Exactly right. Let me make this very clear. We welcome those. But this is Ken Rosenthal, longtime baseball scribe, The Athletic, Fox Sports, in the know. I'm going to read this to you.
Okay, go for it.
And then you can, I think you are going to be giddy by the time I'm done.
I can't wait.
Might Twins make a move at short is the subhead for the question. It then reads like this from, again, Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. The Twins, like all teams deep in young talent, are drawing trade interest in their upper-level prospects and major leaguers under long-term control. The potential to deal one of those big league players, second baseman Luis Arraez, creates an interesting scenario in which the Twins could move shortstop Jorge Polanco to second and either sign a free agent shortstop or trade for a 2021-22 free agent at the position. Say the Indians, Francisco Lindor, or the Rockies, Trevor Story. The likelihood of all that occurring is not terribly high, but the idea is not without merit. Oh, all right.
I didn't wear an undershirt today, and I'm glad I didn't because I'm ready.
Back up from the microphone. Back up from the microphone and cool off.
Okay.
Okay. So just to reposition what I just read you. Okay.
Yeah.
It is reckless speculation.
Correct.
But it doesn't come without Ken Rosenthal having talked to people about trying to put the pieces of the potential Francisco Lindor or Trevor Story puzzle together.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The Twins do have, I don't know if surplus is the right word, but they certainly have some controllable, good young talent. Your thoughts on what, if this move was made, would be an immediate win now? Like, this is a no BS. Correct. This is not, man, it's going to be fun in 21, but wait till 23. This is likely a player that you might get and lose, but before you do that is a win now move without question. The floor is yours.
Judd, the first sentence in the article, okay? The first sentence. Because this is, again, not just BS. This is from Rosenthal. Quote, the Twins, like all teams deep in young talent, are drawing trade interest in their upper-level prospects and major leaguers under team control. So he's already reporting that the Twins are receiving calls and or shopping some of their prospects and major league ready players. Now, it's been a dead winter, right? There is no winter meetings. Free agency's been as cold as it's possibly ever been for hashtag hot stove season, right?
It's very boring.
Very boring. But the fact Rosenthal is already throwing it out tells me that guys like Falvey and Levine and the Brain Trust are looking to upgrade and go all in 2021. And if that means You sacrifice a Luis Arraez who's entering his second year of team of 5 year of team control. If that means even Jorge Polanco is probably on the most team friendly deal in all of baseball.
Yep.
And if you can still land a guy like Trevor Story or Francisco Lindor and go all in on the 2021 season,
and one more pitcher for sure.
For sure. But even let's just look at the microcosm here of upgrading at shortstop, arguably the most important position on the field offensively and defensively. And those two guys in Trevor Story and Lindor, arguably the top two dudes in the league at their position.
Yep.
If you can do this and then also still have someone, by the way, by the name of Royce Lewis in your system ready to be the shortstop of the future, you are setting yourself up for success. There's a no-lose situation if you acquire one of these guys. There's zero lose. There's zero risk. Do it. Absolutely do it. Nothing is guaranteed in baseball. And especially with this organization, I'm sick of the wait till 2022. We got one more year. You don't know that. Nothing is guaranteed, man. Go and make this trade. If that means saying goodbye to Luis Arraez and or Jorge Polanco, I'm for it. I'm for it.
Reckless speculation.
If it's Lindor, what are you giving up?
Well, you're giving up. So let's just say it's Arraez because they want a major leaguer in return. Okay, let's just say it's Luis Arraez.
So we'll just start there. But like what? Okay, so now what's the trade?
Then it's Arraez.
Yep.
And here's the thing: Cleveland are kind of a bunch of buffoons when it comes to these trades. So they're still going to ask for someone. I think they'd ask for someone like Kirilloff or Lewis. Twins will say no.
I think you have to, yeah.
You have to, but they'll ask. And I think, but what is more realistic that the Twins would give up would be the Larnachs, the Rookers, maybe Balazovic, maybe Duran.
Okay, so they're going to want...
I'm basically saying I don't think the Twins would trade Lewis or Kirilloff to acquire Lindor.
Okay, so...
Cleveland will ask for him, but I don't think that happens.
So let's go down the path here of what you would do then.
Okay.
Arraez for sure.
Arraez for sure. That's your major leaguer.
Larnach,
yeah.
And they want probably one more. Because here's the thing where they're a little bit stuck. If he had years left on his contract, they get way more.
Right.
But like any team, no team is going to give them the farm, no pun intended, for a guy whose contract is about to run out. So if you want Arraez, Larnach, and then a prospect that we don't even think about,
the 10th best prospect.
That would have to be it.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair
trade. And that's
trade.
a lot to give up.
And that's a fair trade. I wouldn't have trepidations on making that trade.
Okay.
Of course, I'm running the Twins in this scenario, but yeah.
That's fine. Would you prefer short term? Possibly. Would you prefer Lindor in division trade, which bothers some and not others, and having Larnach and Arraez possibly haunt you, or Colorado, where Story would come to you instead of Lindor, and you would then send, 2 or 3 people to the National League and basically be done and not have to see them?
Well, so I have zero trepidations trading in your division. If you can get the right trade, then you just do it. I have no problem with seeing that player, in baseball's case, 18 games a year. That doesn't upset me. Those 18 games a year aren't going to be what defines said team's season. Okay, so if Jose Bautista hits, 55 home runs in 40 games against the Twins, I don't care. I don't care that happened. I know the Blue Jays aren't in the division, but I'm just trying to make that example. Like, I don't care what's happened in these games. I will say, I think the likelihood of acquiring someone in one of these two dudes, it's more likely that it's Story than it is Lindor. Story, although, is entering the same situation. He is also going to be a free agent after the 2021 season and is about, I think, on the hook for 17, 18 million for 2021 in the last year of his team control. I think it's more likely you get someone like Trevor Story over Francisco Lindor. I mean, Lindor's probably a top 5 player in all of baseball, and Trevor Story's more in the 15 to 20 to 30 range. But if you can get one of those positions, like Jorge Polanco's a good player.
Yeah, it's a solid player.
But Trevor Story and Francisco Lindor are leaps and bounds better than Jorge Polanco.
Yeah, and Polanco is being forced to play short, but he's not a great shortstop.
He's not a great shortstop. And both
he'd be fine at second base.
And both Trevor Story and Francisco Lindor, I would make the case, are probably 2 of the top 5 best all-around two-way shortstops.
Fantastic players. Absolutely
MLB.
Right. Absolutely. So here's where I think it's not likely, but I think the door is open for what Rosenthal is speculating on, and it makes some sense too. to your point, 2020 so far has been a disaster as far as players aren't moving. The market is frozen. We don't know the rules. Teams, aside from the Mets, for the most part, aren't going to spend much because the losses that they incurred during the past summer were fairly significant, if not huge. This intrigues me, Dex, because you have an opportunity here with a very good team, but a team that has lost 18 consecutive playoff games. And I don't care how far back that goes. You've lost 18 consecutive playoff games. You have a chance to, in some ways, jump the line here and make a move that is going to make you potentially, if you do this right, as competitive as possible for 21. And I guess my question to the Twins is this. What do you perceive about your window of opportunity here? Because the Donaldson move was and you definitely get credit for this, was a win now move. But this team seems to me to, yes, they've got prospects, but they seem to me also to be in a position where if they make the right moves, they could go into whatever the 2021 season is going to be extremely competitive, if not one of the better teams in the American League with a move like this.
Yes.
If you add a little bit of bullpen help, starting pitching help, right? So, and the one thing I think that we haven't discussed enough is hopefully very soon with a vaccine here, the pandemic is going to end, right? The pandemic is going to end and people are going to be excited to get back to going to bars, to going to ballparks, to going to arenas. My point being is, as bad as what we're going through in 2020 is, it's not going to last forever. And when it ends, I think there's going to be lots of excitement about let's get back into our lives, right?
Yeah.
If the Minnesota Twins have been aggressive during what appears to be a downtime now, and you've got, let's say, Trevor Story at shortstop, you've added a starting pitcher. And yes, some of those moves might be deemed to be short-term, but when society gets back to going to things and being excited about things, your ball club is really exciting and really good, that's going to be a pep in the step that will put you ahead by miles as far as fan bases are concerned. And so this intrigues me because it's not fair, but the Twins now have had enough success in recent years where the playoff losing streak, I think, Declan, has people rolling their eyes.
Totally.
And they're like, well, show me something. Like, you're okay.
Totally.
Okay. Central Division titles are cool. I get that, right?
Home run records are cool.
Yeah, but do something.
Yeah.
Like you're kicking the dog here or something, or you're kicking you're like, move, do something. And so far, playoff-wise, they have not. Now, let's say they get into the playoffs, and the division certainly is going to be more competitive in 21 because I think the White Sox are going to be potentially damn good. But let's say they get into the playoffs again, and now they win some games. Now there's excitement. And so I think that there is a case to be made from a business standpoint that doing something like this and landing a high-profile player and literally saying, we don't know if we can keep this player long-term, but we're going for it,
right,
is going to engage a fan base that I hope very soon will have reason to be excited about life and baseball and sports again. So it may, if you give this some thought, it makes some sense to when the cloud of 2020 starts to lift, to say, hey, look at what we got here.
Exactly.
So I love it.
And Rosenthal points this out too in the subsection of his Twin shortstop piece. And he's talking about Cleveland here, I believe. He says they probably do not want to sign for 1 year and then compete with Lindor, Story, and company in the open market next offseason. Actually, I think he's referencing the Twins there. So he's saying that the Twins do not want to sign for 1 year and then compete with Lindor and Story and all these other guys for just the one season, then watch them haunt him or whatever. But he also says this to end the article, which I think is also very important. But teams likely will be unwilling to give them multi-year commitments if they are interested in younger, flashier members of next year's shortstop class. That's why I'm saying I don't think it's a no-lose situation to acquire 1 year service of someone like Lindor and Story, while at the same time your insurance policy is Royce bleeping Lewis.
It's an interesting thought. Yeah.
So I don't even understand how this is setting up for perfect situations. Also, let's say, all right, let's go down the path again. If Lindor and Story end up signing long-term deals,
yep,
and then Lewis either is forced to move positions, but you still have him, or you still have Lewis in your cards to make another. I don't see a path where this haunts the Twins. I see zero path, and especially if it's giving up Luis Arraez and let's just call it Brent Rooker or Trevor Larnach. Like you're giving up a position at second base, which is the most expendable position in all of baseball. You can find second baseman anywhere.
And we don't know how good the kid is.
And Luis Arraez, although
I like him, but we don't know.
I think he's a 300 hitter who doesn't hit bombs, who doesn't hit for power. And he has a great eye at the plate. He's a solid hitter, but he doesn't move the needle in the lineup. He's a good top of the lineup guy, and that's it. And those guys are expendable right now.
You've got me convinced.
Do it.
Reckless speculation.
Reckless speculation.
Reckless speculation.
Trade talk.
Juicy rumors.
I'd put the percentage chance at about 10.
Yeah, I think that's.
But I love the idea.
I think it's.
And I do think that there is something to be said for coming out of the pandemic with a tweak where fans are like, "Whoa, I got to get Twins tickets."
Right. It'd be genius. If you land, I'll even say if it's Lindor. I mean, Story's a nice player, but Lindor is a top 5 player in all of baseball. That sells tickets. That one 100% sells tickets. It'd be humongous.
Story, Arenado.
And both of them.
We'll send you Donaldson and a couple prospects.